In today's video, I'm going to review the Carmina Chelsea boot and their brown museum calf on their Simpson last. I'm Kirby Allison, and I love helping the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes. Join me as we explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. Chelsea boots are exceptional choices for those who want a more casual shoe that are insanely comfortable and perfect for wearing with jeans. Chelsea boots got their name from the hip kids in the Chelsea neighborhood of London who popularized them in the 1960s and are often closely associated with the Beatles who wore them all the time. The most defining characteristic of a Chelsea boot is the hole-cut construction and the elastic side panels, which combine to make a pair of shoes that are easy to put on and take off and exceptionally comfortable. For this reason, Chelsea boots are favorites among those who walk a lot or don't like to fuss with traditional dress shoes. They can be easily dressed up with a suit or dressed down with a pair of denim jeans. Carmina offers no fewer than 10 different stock styles of their Chelsea boots and several different last shapes and finishes. This is one of the 3 models on their Simpson last, which has a sleek, semi-square toe and a long, narrow appearance. It's one of Carmina's narrowest and sleekest lasts. As with all of Carmina's Goodyear welted leather dress shoes, this boot is exceptionally well crafted. The last design is beautifully balanced, while the shoe contains all of the more nuanced elements of quality and craftsmanship that I love about a well-made shoe. This Chelsea boot from Carmina retails for $525 US with free shipping anywhere in the United States. For those who live internationally, the shoe can be purchased for 420 euros. Based on the Spanish island of Majorca, Carmina is best known for their cult-like following among shoe aficionados for their ability to combine extraordinary softness and comfort with sturdy Goodyear welting and elegant last designs. For those who enjoy the more nuanced elements of shoemaking, Carmina offers an excellent value with most of their calfskin leather dress shoes beginning at just $450 with free shipping to the United States. Carmina Shoemaker can trace its origins back to 1866 when artisan Matias Pujadas opened a workshop in Inca, Majorca, where he began crafting handmade shoes. The family continued working in the shoemaking industry until 1997 when Pujadas' great-grandson, Jose Alba Ladejo, realized his dream to create his own family-owned factory dedicated to making some of the world's finest handcrafted shoes. Today, the company is still very much a family affair with no fewer than 5 family members directly involved. It is, in fact, Mr. Alba Ladejo's daughter, Carmina, that runs their New York boutique. It is important to note that because Carmina is both the factory and the brand, and that the majority of their sales are direct to the consumer, the company is able to integrate many of the shoemaking elements into their shoes that one would not necessarily expect to see at just $450. All uppers are hand-clicked, the channels are closed on all their outsoles, welts are hand-fudged, full leather outsoles and heel blocks are used, and brass tacks are hand-nailed into the toes of every pair for added durability. The company also offers an extensive range of stock models and one of the easiest to use online made-to-order web interfaces for anyone looking to design a totally one-of-a-kind shoe. It is this wide range of styles and ability to turn out a high number of individual MTO shoes that has won over shoe aficionados. It should also be noted that for those that love cordovan dress shoes, Carmina has one of the most extensive collections of stock cordovan models available anywhere in the world. The Carmina Chelsea boot on the Simpson last is a classic, beautiful boot. The Simpson is one of Carmina's narrowest and sleekest lasts. You can see the beautiful elongated shape that balances quite perfectly with this toe. It's a soft, square toe, but not too chiseled and too square to make it unapproachable. One of the other elements that I really appreciate about this toe shape is the slight loft as it pitches forward. You can see that there's a nice vertical dimensionality to this toe shape also. So not only is it rounded, but it has a nice kind of vertical shape to it that really just makes this a beautiful and elegant toe shape. It's not a toe shape that is so square and so pointy that I wouldn't be comfortable wearing it. The shoe is cut from a 3-piece pattern. The forward part and the vamp is one pattern piece with 2 rear quarters in the back. You can see the distinctive side seams where these 3 pieces are sewn together. The shoe features a nice square waist, which offers good support and is appropriate for a boot like this. However, that said, the boot still has nice last definition, which is this three-dimensional shape as the uppers is pulled over the last that you really only find on higher quality shoes. There's no question that more effort and more skill, technical skill at least, is required in lasting a pair of factory-made Goodyear welted shoes to provide that level of dimensionality and shape. And especially on a Chelsea boot, where this single forward pattern piece is so large, this has to be blocked on a wooden block in order to give it this shape to the leather. So you can see that this shoe is beautifully lasted and has all of the elements of design and sculpture that you really expect from a high quality, beautiful shoe. These are just some of the elements that really separate a beautiful, well-made shoe from less expensive models. The additional work required to pull the upper over the last helps add shape and elegance to the uppers and prevents the shoe from appearing too square. You can really see it at the edge of the vamp on the interior of the shoe where you have this additional shape. Now, not only does this give shape to the shoe, but this curve also helps support the arch in order to make the shoe more comfortable. The upper also has to be hand blocked right here to give it this curved shape so that this single piece of leather can curve upwards into the trunk of the boot. Just like a hole cut, there's really not much you can do with the pattern. A Chelsea boot is a Chelsea boot, but what's important and what's really going to give a beautiful, elegant shape to a Chelsea boot is going to be the shape of that last. Here we see it with the Simpson last, combined with that last definition that allows the shape of the last really to be molded into the leather itself. But as beautiful as the design and shape of the boot is, of course, since it is a Carmina, it's also made to exceptionally high standards. Carmina is, after all, so well known and appreciated among shoe enthusiasts because of how well their shoes are constructed. All of the elements of quality and craftsmanship that one would expect on a high-quality pair of factory-made, Goodyear welted leather dress shoes can be found here. Beyond this price point, you begin to hit the point of diminishing marginal return, but the value here at Carmina really is exceptional. Most all of Carmina's shoes are completely Goodyear welted, which is the de rigueur of high-quality factory-made shoes. Goodyear welting is the process whereby a linen rib is glued to the insole that a welt or a leather strip is then sewn to. This welt is the piece that runs along right here that the outsole is then stitched to. It's that linen rib and welt that really holds the entire shoe together. It's what holds together the upper, the interlining, and the hard countering, and allows it to connect to the outsole. What's unique and important about Goodyear welting is that leather welt that runs along the length of the shoe that the outsole is then sewn to. What this does is it allows the outsole to be removed and then re-sewn back on without disturbing any of the elements of the upper of the shoe. Everything remains held together by that linen rib and that welt and doesn't disturb any of the shape or any of the fit to the shoe. Now here I have a leather insole from Carmina that shows this linen rib on the bottom and how it's glued to that insole. Then a Goodyear welting machine would stitch all those elements of the upper, so the upper, the hard countering, the interlining, and the welt would all be stitched through this rib right here. Then you have the insole, all of the elements being sewn together right here, the welt, which is going to run along parallel, and then you have that leather outsole that is sewn onto the welt itself. This is important because the uppers of a really high quality leather dress shoe are going to get better with age and outlast the wear of a leather outsole several times. So on a high quality pair of boots like this or leather dress shoes, you could easily resole them 4, 5, or 6 times before the entire shoe reaches the end of its lifetime. Now this was a really important technological innovation in the late 19th century, early 20th, that allowed shoes to be made at volume in a factory versus having to be hand welted one by one. The outsoles can be easily pulled off and new ones sewn back on by a skilled cobbler, like with our Kirby Allison certified shoe restoration program. Carmina also uses a 3/4 welt that goes all the way around the shoe but ends right here at the base of the heel. This is the preferred method on high quality shoes because it allows the heel to sit more neatly on the bottom of the shoe. It provides a much cleaner and neater finish because the heel block is able to sit more cleanly underneath the base of the shoe. It should also be noted that the stitch density used to sew on the outsole to the welt is very high. Carmina uses 8 to 10 stitches per inch, whereas some ordinary shoemakers might use 4 or 5. This higher stitch density that you see here, combined with this welt fudging, which are the small indentations made into the top of the welt, that help to give a degree of finish and finesse to this shoe that you really just don't find all that often at this price point. In addition, the outsoles are finished with an invisible channel stitch, which is a process by which the outsole is cut into, the leather is peeled back, and then the outsole is sewn onto the welt, and then the leather is glued back down. Now what this creates is an absolutely beautifully finished outsole. It's one of those elements of a shoe that nobody sees but you, but really I love the most because it just shows the commitment to the quality and the craftsmanship. So if you look at Carmina's outsoles, not only do you not see any open channeling like what you would find on a less expensive shoe, but it's also beautifully polished and finished with some brass tacking at the toe for added durability. It's the attention to detail on the parts of the shoe that aren't seen, in addition to the attention to the detail that you'd see on the upper, that really do make Carmina shoes stand out. And it's these small, nuanced elements that are why I really love fine leather dress shoes. You also see very precise single needle stitching on the upper that joins all these pieces together. It's single needle, so it's a very thin line, and it's a high stitch density, so these stitches are very close to one another. It's those details that really combine to create a very refined finish. There's no question that whenever you look at the shoe, it is absolutely beautiful, and you can see just by looking at it how well made these are. Another element that as I'm looking at the shoe right now that I'm seeing is just how these welts and edges are trimmed close to the shoe. They're not protruding too far out, which again helps increase the level of formality and dressiness of this shoe. All of the edges are dyed and waxed to a nice high shine. And as I said earlier, Carmina is using full leather heel blocks. This is important because it's not particle leather, again, like what you find on lower quality shoes. And whenever these are dyed, you can see these layers stack up beautifully, and it gives additional dimensionality and finish to the shoe itself. This Carmina Chelsea boot is made from 100% vegetable tanned, full grain, open pore leather. This means that the leather is tanned using natural vegetable tannins, similar to the process of the G.R. Windenbach oak bark tanned leather outsoles, and retains the leather's natural pore structure. This is important because the full grain, open pore leather ages beautifully and takes shoe polish quite well. This boot is finished with Carmina's brown museum calf, which is dyed with an antiquing effect that gives the leather additional dimensionality. However, the same boot is available stock from Carmina's website in both black and brown calfskins, and of course can be ordered through their MTO program in any of their available leathers and finishes. These Carmina Chelsea boots are available stock from a UK size 5 to a UK size 14 and a standard E width. UK sizes run about a half size smaller than the equivalent US shoe size. So if you are a 9.5 in an American shoe, such as an Allen Edmonds, you'd want to purchase a UK 9. The only challenge to Carmina is that they do not have an extensive network of brick and mortar stores here in the United States to try on shoes. However, Carmina does have a boutique in New York City, as well as several boutiques throughout Europe. For a more in-depth look at their New York boutique, click the link in the upper right-hand corner and view the video that we filmed whenever we went to go visit them. If you have any questions about fit, give Carmina's customer service people a call and they'll help walk you through over the phone how to best determine your ideal size. I really have to say that I love Carmina and can understand why they have such a strong following amongst budget-conscious and quality-seeking shoe aficionados. Carmina is able to deliver a shoe at a higher quality than the comparable shoe from America. Because Carmina is both the factory and the brand, and because the majority of their distribution is direct, they're able to pack a higher amount of quality and craftsmanship in their shoes than what is commonly found at the equivalent price point. If you're someone that enjoys leather dress shoes and is looking for a shoe that can be worn with a suit, but more importantly, worn casually with a pair of denim jeans, and you want uncompromising comfort, look no further than this pair of Chelsea boots from Carmina. In today's video, I'm wearing one of our Kirby Allison Sovereign grade ties. This is a Macclesfield, beautiful tie that we have made especially for us in England. They're hand slipped, with a beautiful interlining that I worked years to develop that ensures that this tie always ties a beautiful knot with a perfect dimple. I'm also wearing a beautiful bespoke Chris Despis odd jacket that is a black and dark brown twill. I'm wearing a Simon Godard opera pocket square. Of course, my trademark white Charvet dress shirt. And today I'm wearing a pair of brown Himmerjohnny or mytailor.com trousers that are a little bit higher waisted than some of my normal trousers. And a very special pair of shoes today. These are my bespoke Foster & Sons Cap-Toe Oxford Semi-Brogues. And of course, a matching pair of dark brown cotton sovereign gray dress socks.